I want them to be part of anything I do.
I do anything. I went to France last year. I've been to France a couple of times. And I took my mum. She came up. She's never been to Paris, and I was like excited to show her because I love Paris.
Yeah. She's been to Paris a couple of times.
Pew pew. But like she loves history, so she went to see Marie Antoinette's. What is it called? Castle building, whatever. And I was like, all right, let's do the half day tour. And because I can't do the full day tour. And like it's a big castle, right? And the first hour is pretty impressive. You're like going through this castle and you're like, wow, and you're listening to every single one of the audiobooks.
Oh, no way.
Things. And then after the first hour, you're like, okay, I get it. And it just gets busier and busier. And you're like, it's a building. And we're here, and we have to wait for the bus to pick us up. And I'm like, I can't do this. I hate it. And you go to the gift store, and I'm like, what? Why? Like, can't
you want to sell me more shit? Like,
just let me eat a croissant in a park. Like, I don't want to do that.
I know. I think that's why tourism is horrible in our generation. Is kind of like a little bit because also. We didn't grow up with any sort of like wonder in the world anyway, and we had the internet pretty quickly, which kind of, it's like if you see like 1,000 pictures of anything, you're not as excited to go and see it anymore if you see So I think it's because our parents' generation or a bunch of those people travel with like, okay, we'll buy the package. We'll go with a bunch of people in the bus. We'll put the audio. Like, I enjoy doing touristy stuff, but that's because I put fucking, like, aggressive hip-hop, just listening to aggressive hip-hop while looking at it, making my own assumptions, no knowledge whatsoever, no education after it.
Oh, it's so...
I leave a worse human being than I was when I went there. But at least I get to enjoy it. I get to look at all the shit and just be like, look, that's probably a pedophile did that. And then I live my whole life thinking a pedophile did that.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I fucking hate it when I'm on like a tour bus. I haven't been on one in a while. And they tell me about things while I'm on the bus. I'm like, excuse me, I'm having a moment listening to my music, looking out the window. Like, I don't care about, I don't care about the hill. Sure. So, and I'm not going to remember it. I'm not one of those people who remembers facts.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, buddy. You found your career as a tour driver and you like facts and you like telling people, but I just don't. Like, am I wrong?
I remember the shit that I intentionally ask for. If you just start telling me every single thing about something, I will remember nothing. But if my only question is like, hey, when the fuck was that built? Then if you tell me like the 1400s, I'm going to be like, holy shit. And then I'll remember it. Like, have you been to that building? It was built in the 1400s. Because I was actually curious to find out. I don't want to fucking, like, when you go to a Wikipedia page and you're just looking for like, okay, how much did it make in the box office? But they give you like, so in 1994, the story of how the pre-production started. It's like, I just want that thing.
Yeah, the first box was created. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is very true. I don't want to do any touristy stuff in Greece. I'll go see that old building.
Yeah, listen, but also again, like if you do it on your own terms, it's fun. Like go to a temple.
Your own terms.
Yeah, just take mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Just take mushrooms and go to a place where people were tripping their balls off 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And actually enjoy the experience instead of being like, because it's, I don't know. I really enjoyed my day like going to the Tate Modern and being in the touristy area of London, which I did just like for one day. Because it's not when like you see everyone having to do certain things. Like that's my favorite thing is walking through groups that have like instructions on how to pass their day, and you're just kind of like tripping. You're a little bit high. You just ate some fucking nice thing from the market. You're having a cigarette. You go in and like when you do it exactly on your own terms, it can be really fun.
Well, have you ever had your own like touristy day in Berlin?
No, never.
Yeah, it's so funny when you like move to a country. I was like, when I move here, I will do that. And then I got a job straight away. And now it's like where I live. And when you have friends visit and they're like, oh, we're doing this. I'm like, never done that. I think I've taken every friend to the cathedral.
Yeah.
Because I can see it from the outside and I go, there's a pretty building. Let's get a drink.
Who's a really pretty building?
Who's a pretty building? Berliner Dom. But yeah, I haven't done anything else. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah,
It's also a pretty depressing city in terms of like, you know what, like the things to do in Berlin is like look at a wall and go to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
Like that's what you can do.
That's the other thing. Is like you go to the place and you're like, do you want to see all the paintings that the guys did while they were fingering the princess and fucking like eating whole fucking legs of ham, and then like the king died, and like it's fucking fascinating history, and it's all about sort of like enjoyment and fingering. It's I think the two things I remember from history.
Yeah, that's all history was.
Really,
and it's all it will ever be.
All it'll ever be.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, do you want to do the touristy stuff in Berlin? Do you want to hear every angle on how they obliterated the people and how they burned? And this is the memorial. And here's 25 pictures of them being really guilty now and being like, sorry, we did that, but here's all the stuff we did, so you remember and we never do it again.
Yeah,
it's like that's not a fun day.
No, it's not. It's real depressing in that sense. Like even in like Australia, obviously there's not much history, but well, there's heaps of history in Indigenous culture, but obviously we don't celebrate that, so it's very different. But in terms of like touristy stuff, it's like nature, right? It's like, oh, go to the beach, hold a koala, do this, and here it's
that's
like,
what you did right, though. That's what you did right as a nation, where you're like, everyone that talks about going to places and doing the touristy stuff, like, you know, you go to France, we went to the like Eiffel Tower, we went to the Louvre, we went to this, then we go to Germany, we went to all the Holocaust things, we went to the, and then every time people talk about Australia, it's like, yeah, we went there, we hugged a koala. A kangaroo fingered me. It was really good. It's like you've just made it all about. Look at these cute animals. And please don't remember that we obliterated the indigenous people. And that were actually prisoners and rapists that were sent here on a boat.
I'm all is intergenerational. What's it called? Stolen generations and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But there's so much water.
So much fucking water.
Go for a swim.
Fucking surf. Look at another koala.
Wow.
Talk about the fact that they have chlamydia and come back.
Oh man, great fact. Everyone remembers that one.
Everyone loves that fact.
It's such a good fact.
It is.
Koalas are so
Koalas are so
dumb. Like, do you know their brains are smooth?
You can sort of tell.
You can
sort of tell.
Like, do you know when like every time there's like Australian bushfire, it like reaches the news, like this many koalas died. I'm like, dude, obviously, like they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, if a fucking gust of wind is too strong, they're fucked.
How are they still here? Like they don't. I think a teddy bear, like a stuffed toy, would be better like than a koala.
That's my favorite thing about Australia is like sloths and koalas thriving there, and literally they're designed to die.
Thousands of years ago. Like the fact that they're still here. Like I think they wake up every day and they're like, again.
Yeah, literally, it's like fucking. I mean, they're in the food chain in fucking.
They're not even in the chain, dude. They're like fucking out here, like trying to get to it.
They're like the chain is here, and then there's a buffet. To the right, that's only koalas and sloths on a plate, like with an apple in their mouth, and somehow they stay alive.
With chlamydia.
Yeah, it's literally like the food chain equivalent of like a plate of chicken wings in an American like buffet. Like, there's no way it's surviving. And then yet somehow, I don't know.
It shows you if you're cute that you can really survive.
That's how they did it. It's like the humans that just can't stand anything cute dying, so they kill everything that hunts it.
It's so true. God, we're such shallow.
Yeah. But my point is, before we were here, what were the fuck, like... I mean, humans are afraid of Australia because of the things that can kill you there. Right. How are these motherfuckers surviving?
Oh my God, I don't know. Didn't they used to be like, but before the settlers came, all of the animals in Australia were like meters tall, like wombats and kangaroos like 2 to 3 meters tall. Yeah. And then like that through evolution gotten smaller.
Yeah.
We killed them all.
Everything evolves to be less visible by humans.
Yes, exactly.
Lions will be like this in 1,000 years. Just fucking like roaches of the desert.
Roaches of the desert. That's such a sick name, man.